Welcome to Mommy Guide Inc.'s Ultimate Craft Room Tour and Reorganization. It's been 2 years since I gave you a tour of my crafting haven, and oh how things have changed. Back in 2022, my craft room was a bustling hub of creativity filled to the brim with supplies, tools, and inspiration. But as time went on, I found myself needing to adapt my space to better suit my evolving needs. Before the makeover, you would see that I have a ton of vertical wall space available that I have not fully utilized. I also needed to move things around and add some more bins, shelves, and other storage organizational tools to make this makeover really happen. I have included links in the description of this video for all the things that I have used and the other videos that pertains or relate to this craft room makeover. So if you do want to check it out, you can do so in the description down below. And so without further ado, welcome to my craft room. The craft room is also my home office, my craft room, my studio, as well as my bedroom. Yes, officially or originally, this was just my bedroom and my home office. But eventually, during the pandemic, I decided to create this space into all the things I've mentioned to make things easier for me to create content. I have decided to delegate my craft space into different zones. I have my live streaming zone, which is basically composed or comprised of my desk and all the bins at the back. And then here you have my craft room storage space and home office. And in front of my desk is where I actually prepare all the things that I need to do in terms of crafty projects. I make sure that I leave it clutter-free so that anytime I have to do a project, it's always available for me to work on. Let's start with the tour of my desk area. This is also where I do my crafty live streams and interviews for my conversations with Lala. I did start with a very simple setup, but through the years, I also needed to expand my gear to accommodate the different things that I wanted to do. So this time around, I do have 2 soft boxes beside my table and key light in front of me. I also do have 2 monitors. Okay, sometimes there's 3 in front of me, and I do have 2 XLR microphones which I use if and when there are other crafters or guests that I have in the studio. I do have a teleprompter now which is connected to the lens of my main camera, like so. So I actually use this when I do interviews and I have questions prepared and notes prepared in advance for my lives or when I'm creating videos. I do have a glass mat on the middle or in the middle of my table because this is basically where I do my crafty live streams as well. To the side of the table, I have some of my most used tools for when I do my crafty lives. Of course, my laptop, which serves as my third monitor or sometimes my confidence monitor. And here you can see a sample of the streaming platform, or even my recording platform, which is Ecamm Live. People do know that this is what I use. I normally have a tech show with Basic Networks and Streaming Victor of Basic NAS once a month, where we actually showcase different tech stuff for creators or creatives and crafters. So on the second monitor, you will see I have the comments up on that screen, so that my platform is on the left and the comments are on the right, so that when I do go live, I can see all of them all at the same time and just simply put up the chat and engage with the community easier. I am also showing here my Stream Deck and my Rodecaster Pro, which I use to manage the audio. So my Stream Deck is my favorite gear or tool in my tech setup, so to speak, because it makes things so much easier for me. Okay, if it's just a touch of a button, I can change scenes, I can add music, I can bring in guests and do so many other things with it. So it's like a perfect pairing for Ecamm Live. Fuji, my balloons, so all those things. Okay, triggered. Okay. Okay, triggered by. Okay, what else is on my desk? So that is the hard drive. Okay, and this one is another mixer that I use for when I do want to do like reverb. And that's a Cal Digit that a dear friend Victor gave me. And he told me that I really was messing up my setup by not having that. Okay, and then this is the OBSpot Tiny 2. Okay, so to operate it, you actually do have an app for that. So you open it up. Okay, and once it's up, it's just taking a while. All right, so we can. Okay, so I will navigate through it. Okay, so I will tilt down. So when I tilt it down, look at the head. So now it becomes my overhead cam. Okay, and this is what it's gonna look like. Okay, and there you go. So that is now my overhead cam. And I'll just adjust that. And if you can see, if I adjust the head, so okay, do it this way, that way, until I have okay the setup that I want in terms of the angle. And then I just now go to Ecamm, put in camera B. Okay, and from there I will just tweak the image I want to see. Okay, whatever goes into that square will be what is seen. Okay, so there, now you see my hands. Okay, that is now my and now that is my overhead cam. Okay, and on that one, the black one, okay, this part, okay, that's where you will have, if my camera face cam is open, but it's not because I am not prepared to be on cam right now. Right, so again, that's how it is done. And then this is where all the comments would show up. Let me see if I do have a comment on this scene. Okay, like for example, there is a comment from Cordelia. Okay, so what else is in my Okay, so my keyboard is over there, which I crafting mat. It's glass. It's from Tim Holtz. Yes, it's the Tim Holtz one, the Tonic from Tonic Studio. Okay, so normally when I craft, I just use that space, and then I have this additional space to put stuff in. So basically, this is, if it's just interview, so no worries, it's just gonna be like that. Sometimes if I actually need to work also over there on the other side, so I use a lapel, Rode Wireless Go to do so. Okay, so now on my desk, okay, so that is what you can see on the top. Moving on to the other side of my desk, you can see several Palic under desk baskets which hold some of my gadgets. This one is my Mac Mini, which is my main gadget or computer for live streaming, and you can see some other tools over there on the other one, and another set of Palic under desk basket holds some of my crafty tools which I often use for my live crafting. Here are other Palic lines from IKEA, which holds some of my heat and embossing tools and tissue paper roll, but I actually ran out of, but you can still see the core over there. On the other side of my desk is where I have my gears. My main computer is a Mac Mini, an M1 Mac Mini. Here I'm just showing you the different ports where I attach the different things that I have, like my Cal Digit, my monitors, okay, and some of like my audio mixer. And in the Cal Digit, I have again some of the cameras, portable hard drives, and other things that I need to connect to my Mac Mini. And here is the back of the Rodecaster Pro, where I have two XLR mics connected, and this one goes directly to the M1 Mac Mini. And this is my main face cam, okay, where desk view, what do you call that? Desk view, which I use as my teleprompter when I do my interviews and oftentimes when I do my recordings. I do have several tripods in front of my desk to hold my different cameras as well as my lights, and look at that mess of, you know, like spaghetti wires. Yes, I do need a more improved wire management system. It's just that for now I don't have long wires. That's why I cannot do a better cable management, but hopefully that is something that I absolutely can improve in the future. Underneath my sit stand desk are two Alex drawers where I actually can still put, or I actually have placed several tools like trimmers and stuff that I normally need to be at hand most of the time when I do my crafty shows or when I become guest in other crafty shows as well. There are two chairs on my desk, and most of the time I only use one, and the other one I used to put things on top of it so that to house or to hold the other things that I need for crafting. Or when I do have an in-studio guest, whether for interview or crafting, that chair is actually used by my guest. What is that small stool doing over there under my desk? That is actually what I use to prop my feet up when I do go live. It makes, you know, my legs feel comfortable or more comfortable and prevent it from cramping. And do you remember my IKEA video where I showed you this Palic under the table or under the shelf drawers? Okay, so I actually use them to house the different things or crafty materials that I normally use very often or always during my crafty streams. So you have my very small paper trimmer, my mixed media mat, my different kinds of stamping platform, my score pal, and other things like this one. Okay, it's a mat for when I do my wax melting. Okay, and other things. So other supplies as well are stored underneath. Again, these are the things that I normally go to or need to use when I do go live or create my crafty projects. On top of this Alex drawer, I do have my Blossom mini die cutting machine and some other tools like this wax melter and this pinking shears or scissors. Stored underneath as well are various mats which I use for when I do mixed media techniques as well as my press and seal. So on to the first Alex drawer under my desk. So the first drawer holds some of my most used washi tapes, my tiny attacher, some scissors, and of course the ink cubes, different ink cubes from different brands like Gina K, Altenew, housed or stored in these containers where they are kept by 2s and then by 4s and then by 8s. I love that I am able to do this so that when I need to use any of them, I'll just need and get whatever I need and can easily put it back. On the next drawer are some of my distress crayons, again housed in this containers according to color family, and some office supplies that I actually need, and my teleprompter remote control is also there. Onto the next drawer. This is where all my distress oxides are housed. They're housed in this acrylic containers and labeled and arranged according to, again, color family. Okay, and then my tiny ink cubes, which I use often and need to bring often, are in these containers that I can carry along. Again, these acrylic containers are very, very useful because I can easily use it as well. Just like so, when I'm using a specific color, I'll just put the cover on the other end and put it back in like so. This has been my go-to way of storing my distress oxides and distress inks for years now. I also like the fact that these acrylic containers are actually stackable, just like basically everything that I use to store my inks. Basically everything is stackable because I really want to maximize the space that I have in all the storage spaces that I do have in my shelves or drawers. These are my Hero Arts inks. I love this ombre ink so much, and again, they are housed in this specific acrylic container. This one doesn't have a partition. It's just one rectangular thing, a little bit dipper. Okay, and also some of my other inks as well, and some other distress crayons like this. And finally, the last drawer houses all my planners for the year. My main planner, my faith journals, my budget planner, and all the different planners that I have for 2024. Moving on to the other side of the desk. Okay, and on the other Alex drawer, on top of it, you will see another palette storage under the table where I put again another paper trimmer that I have, and my stamp wheel, which I use often when I do have paper projects that I need to do inking, blending, stamping, and all of those things. Of course, some tissue paper, dry and wet ones. Another variation of the palette is these that you can see. So one actually holds my paper towel, but apparently when I filmed this, I ran out of paper towel. And this one actually has 3 rings where you can, normally this is where you can hang like glasses and stuff, but I actually use it to hang this containers, which I actually showed in my IKEA video previously, which I used to hold my heat tools. And I actually have a heat tool where this one actually has a hole or a holder, which I just directly hang on to that one without a container. Okay, just like so. There you go. So it has a ring, so you can easily attach it like so. And of course, I do have my most often used, mini tools beside me, like my jewel picker, okay, my pick tool, of course, some pens and scotch tape. All right, so on the Alex drawer on this side of my table, I do have my personalized stamps. So after I finish a card, I stamp that onto the back, and some other tools, mini tools, and office supplies that I reach out for every now and then. On the next drawer are some of my business cards, and of course some Crafty Mama diaries, confetti stuff that I use for when I do shaker bits or shaker cards, and some of my most used punchers, especially when I am doing my planners. On the third layer are some adhesives, mostly double-sided tape and other kinds of adhesive. And on the next drawer these are my planner punchers. Okay, so I do have most of for a happy planner, for creating the actual inserts, okay, punching holes on the inserts, and actually also to decorate. So I have one for the standard and the big one, and some we are memory keeper, letter punches, and the other things, okay, other punchers that I actually use for my planner stuff. So they are all here. And on the last one are actually some gears and additional punchers, like wires and stuff that I need for my live streaming or for when I do create content. And of course, we always need a trash can. Underneath, okay, the desk in front of me is another palette where I have inserted some of the important other tools that I need, specifically this portable hard drives, where I store a lot of the things that I save up for my show and other projects. And that tool is actually from Doc Rock, and that wonderful pouch is from Creator Camp. And this is another caboodle kit that Doc Rock gave to all the participants of Creator Camp last year. And of course, on top of those Alex drawers on this side, I do have some of my tiny or mini stamps that I can use for embellishing or different projects underneath or on top of it. And also this my sweet petunia cut-a-line, which makes cutting easier and more convenient. So I have it handy under there. And if I do need a bigger paper trimmer, I have one over there. That's a tonic one. It's a 12 by 12. It has an arm underneath that I can, just remove and attach and then put back and store underneath like that. On the left side of my desk is a wall where I attach several Moslanda units. I actually failed to show this during my trip to IKEA in my previous video because I ran out of battery. But this is where all my inks and other mixed media medium is stored. I intentionally placed it there so it's easy for me to reach for them when I do have projects that I need them for during my crafty nights or crafty episodes. And to the side of this, again, this is the back wall from my desk. I have attached several Sonestra railings where it has four containers on each one and contains different tools that I need for when I go live as well. And this is the SCADIS. I actually have a total of 6 SCADIS units attached together to create this wall of pegboard, so to speak, which also serves as my backdrop. And attached to the SCADIS are different accessories like baskets and hooks and containers that I used or I attached so that I can put in the different things that I need as well as for aesthetic or decorative purposes. So you see here that I have some of my paints and some Nuvo drops, okay, some buttons, washi tapes, paper trimmers of different kinds, my tea ruler, and of course, even that cute version of a Pooh Bear that my kids, gave to me a while back. I also have this Kabuldal kit that turns around where I have most of my, frequently used tools, scissors, things that I need for when I do my die cutting and mixed media stuff. Basically, even glue is over there. Basically, anything and everything that, I reach out for most of the time. Let's go take a closer look at these containers that hang on my Sonestra rails. So some of my, again, tools, punchers, and brushes for coloring and other mixed media projects. The second layer also houses an assortment of different foams and other things I use for mixed media. And on the third one is where I put some of my We Are Memory Keepers corner jumpers, various designs, and some hand drills and giant letter and number stamps. And on top of that, we have the metal boards, memo boards that I also got from IKEA, where I stick some of my most used dies. And here you can see that I do have this acrylic bins where I put some of my most used 6x6, 4x4 paper pads when I do create cards. And of course, this bin is specifically for my son for our homeschooling where everything about school is housed, and a bin for some assorted pattern papers and some mixed media stuff. On the back of the pegboard where I actually sit are various embellishments and things that I use for decorating, like these Nuvo drops, these pearl drops from Little Birdie, some bits and pieces of buttons, paper flowers and different mats for my electronic die cutting machine, and also my giant stencils underneath that. These are actually 12 by 12 ones, which I've had forever. Okay, I started building this collection during my scrapbooking days. Now, the other stencils that I use for card making are actually not there, but in bins underneath the table, actually underneath this pegboard. So there you go. And on the middle part of this pegboard, this is actually a combination of 6 different pegboards, is where I placed these 2 trays that I created live in several, I think one of or 2 of my shows in the past, where I created 2 of these. Again, both of these are basically faith themed and one is family themed, which I created during one of, or as I said, 2 of my shows in the past. I will try to link in the description the actual video or process video for that one. Again, I housed these buttons of various colors. Yes, I arranged them by color. Okay, if you have not seen, I did create IKEA video prior to this one, where I got these containers. They are actually can be bought in a set of 4. Okay, so and even this the attachments that you see that I use for the pegboards are also in that video. And in one of the baskets attached to this Scadis pegboard are some of the other different handy tools that I have. Some are paper trimmers. Okay, some are actually things that you can use to make like explosion boxes, and this one is just something that you use to align your titling when you do make your scrapbooks and stuff. And of course, my handy dandy tea ruler. This is a set of tulip flowers that my kids gave me. I also hang it over there together with some of the brushes that I have, and these are just some patterns and stencils that I often use for mixed media and other techniques are easily hangs over there. And of course, again, this cute bear. There's also that triangle score guide, and also you can see some of my other different kinds of rulers and inserts for my Misty, and some what do you call that, magnets are also there. Having them there makes it easier for me to find them when I actually need to use them, right? So these are the things that I always seem to be looking for. And yes, one of my most used tools, Crocodile. That's why I have 2 of those. And if you can see behind my acrylic containers at the back of my table, you can see that's where I actually, I put all the lights to make it look like this, right? So it's basically illuminated from the back of those acrylic containers. Now, on the far right from my desk, this is where I, put my typewriter, my 12 by 12 Score Pal, my 12 by 12 Misty, and another 12 by 12, glass mat. Okay, and all of these are on top of this 3-layer wire mesh drawer. Okay, the first drawer actually holds all my adhesives that I use. Okay, mostly tape ones for my projects. Here are some other adhesives as well, like Velcros, and an additional hair dryer to, sometimes I need it also to make things dry faster without of course, embossing folder. I mean powder. And these are the awesome small things that I use to decorate or add blings to my paper projects. Beside that drawer is a very, very long double layer shelf where on top I also put some tools that I will show you later. But on top of this is I have another, a smaller SCADIS where I actually place some of the things that I need or use when I do my electronic cutting or projects. So you have here, they are like the weeding container where I put all the remnants of the things when I weed the vinyls and stuff. This is a very cute blending tool that I got, I think, several Amazon Prime days several years ago. I actually haven't used them, but but they're very cute, so they're there. And of course, these are some of my tools for my pickup tool for my Spellbinders Glimmer machine, and the other one is a pickup tool for my Go Present foil, which I actually have had earlier on than the Glimmer. And also on this Cadis is again another mat. It's a magnetic mat. And some of the cutting plates for the machines that I actually have there. So when I do need to die cut, bigger ones like an A4 size one, I need one, so it's there already. I don't need to go to the other station or place where I actually have all of my other cutting plates for all of the different die cutting machines and embossing machines that I do have. So they're all over there. So it's easy to, access and easy to put back as well. Beside it is a basket that is actually attached to the SCADIS as well, where I have additional magnets again that I can use. And then you have again different plates, and even that self-healing mat I use as an add-on plate to prevent my cutting plates from warping too much. And then an additional we are a memory keeper template also housed over there. And of course my handy dandy mini vac, which I use to clean up the mess after a project or after my crafty nights. This is quite powerful and yet very small, so, and it's white as well, so it fits perfectly with my craft room. Okay, I have several Moslanda shelves as well on this side of my craft room. These are actually half the size or the length of the other one that you've seen earlier on. And this is where my magicals and some of my Amsterdam acrylic paints are placed. And of course, my collection of Prima flowers that I've collected for many decades, and some other washi tapes as well. So there you go. That's the overview of this side of my craft room. If you are finding this video to your liking, I hope that you would consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you always get notified whenever I have a new video. All right, so on this side, okay, so now we are on to the middle part of this long double layer shelf that's actually at the back of my desk, and this is basically the one you see when I go live most of the time. So these things are actually on top of an ECB Alex Jower add-on. Okay, and then you will see here some of the things that I've DIY'd previously, and then of course some of the different kinds of pens for calligraphy that I have over here as well, and of course some of the things that I used to add bling, like the Wink of Stella. But mostly these are really markers for calligraphy. And of course, I'm super proud of this one. That's a gift from Miss Wims for my 50th. She created that portrait of mine. Thank you so much again, Wims. And of course, my blending brushes. Okay, so underneath, okay, you can find my marker holders. Yes, they are acrylic, made of acrylic. And since they're acrylic, so the lights that you see there are actually the lights I showed you earlier on, that these are LED lights that I place at the back, so that when I go live, you see this very cute illumination of different colors. Again, this acrylic layers just basically house all the different kinds of markers that I have, from the distress markers to the Tombow ones, and eventually my collection of Copics. Again, this I've had for several years now, more than a decade, so to speak. So I do have a lot of things in my craft space. And please do remember that you don't need all of these things to be able to create something. It's just that I've been, an avid crafter and hobbyist for decades now. So I have really built up quite a collection. Again, these are my Copics. He arranged by a family, although I think I didn't really arrange this one properly because I just finished one project, I think, after this. And of course, some of my Prisma color pencils on the next two drawers. And if you are still here, I thank you so much for staying, and I hope that you are enjoying what you're seeing thus far. Please don't forget to hit or smash that like button because it truly helps out the channel. And if you have the time, I also do have a merch store attached to this channel, and you might also want to consider being a member of my channel. Holding these acrylic containers is actually the Ekbi Alex drawer. It's an add-on to any of your existing table. It's not very deep, so it's really perfect even for a small or narrow tabletop. Okay, so so this is actually now that long double layered shelf that I have at the back of my desk, where I house all, or majority of, not all, but majority of my stamps and dies, and even some of my embossing folders and red rubber stamps and stencils. So here I'm showing you how I actually store most of my stamps. So I put them in plastic pockets, and then I do have something like this, alphabets, not in all, but when I was still very diligent in creating this. So again, this was inspired by, of course, Jennifer Maguire. Okay, so I love how she is very much organized. So I put all those labels onto each of the pockets, and then divisions were created like this. So the way I stored my stamps and dies basically is, if I have a lot of that collection like this out in you bin, then I actually put them by collection, but otherwise it is by theme. Okay, so for those that I have like very little of are generic ones, so they are put in bins, in this kind of bin, right? So they're all together. So this means that this is a collection of different brands. Some are branded, some are generic, and so this is how I store them. And then after storing them in the different pockets or plastic pockets, I put them in bins. These bins are actually stackable, and there are from some of them are from Interdesign, that I got from the local True Value stores here in the Philippines, and some are actually from the Furniture Source, the other bins that I use. So it's a combination of different kinds of bins to store these stamps and dies, but all of them are actually stackable. So now I'm moving on to the other set of stamps and dies that I have. Okay, so this is for my vintage theme ones. Again, as I said, if I don't have, quite a lot of a specific brand, then they are arranged according to theme, because it's easier. Again, that's how my mind works, and that's how I feel that I am able to find things faster. So this is just me. I know that you do have a different way of, doing things. And so, as Tim Halls would always say, you do you, right? Now, I do have quite a collection of this lawn fawn reveal wheel add-ons, both the stencil and the dies. So I decided to place them in this like an album. So it's easier for me to pull it out when I actually need to find the kind of add-on that I need for my reveal wheel project. Okay, and then I have the very big dies from a local company called PF Crafts, which I love so much because their dies are really specifically made for those who want to start out, small business, packaging materials and stuff like that. So I have them stored at the back of all of these bins. Now, this bin houses some of my generic background stamps and stamps that I have had for over 2 decades, I think. We are actually just halfway through going through everything that I have in my craft space. So definitely this is going to be just part 1 of my craft room tour, but I will also be creating mini video versions of this to focus in on the specific tips and hacks for the different storage solutions that I have. The next following bins houses my lawn fawn, mama elephant, pink fresh studios, Conquer the Ninth, and other various brands that I have. So when it is arranged by brand, so it doesn't matter whether it's a stamp, it's a die, it's a stencil, I put them all together. Again, I only do this when I have, quite a quantity of such brand. Of course, MFT is also here, one of my favorite brands as well. We will end here for now, but this is not goodbye. So look forward to part number 2 of my craft room tour and reorganization. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please don't forget to like this video and see you on the next one. If you do have questions, suggestions, just please put them in the comment down below. Bye!